All right, we are going to do section 6 of Silly Salmon. So what we are going to do in this section is we are going to start making your store and your start screen. And we're going to start to do some of the text objects on the screen, and we're going to make it so you can actually buy stuff from the store, because this game is going to have power-ups that you can use, okay? At this point, your game should be working, and you should have all the objects coming down randomly, and the objects should be able to push you back. Now, we haven't done the game over and stuff yet, so that'll be coming forward. So the first thing is, let's add some layouts. So go to the right side, find your layout folder here, right click it, and we're going to do add layout. And what we are going to do is we are going to add an event sheet. Okay, and this one is going to be called start. So that'll be the start layout. And then this event sheet 1, we're going to call it ES start. So I'm going to right click and rename it ES start. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add another layout, and we're going to call it, we are going to add an event sheet with this one, and we're going to call this one store. And then we're going to take this other event sheet that was just made and call that ES store. Store, okay. Now to make sure you have this set up right, if you click on the start layout up here in the properties, the event sheet should say ES start for the start sheet. And we are going to switch the size, which should be, I believe, what is it, 720 by 1280? So let's do 720, comma, 1280. Go back to the start. Yes, and that looks right. Because we want it to match the size of the game layout, which is 720 by 1280. So the start should be 720 by 1280. And then we're going to click on the store and make sure that that has ES store. You can change it if it doesn't in the upper left. And then we're going to do 720 by 1280 here as well. Okay. And then that should be good. So now we should have our layouts made, and they should have the event sheets attached to it. So game should have ES game, start, ES start, store should have ES store. Okay. All right. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the start layout, and we're going to add some layers down here. So what I would do is we're going to need 4 layers: the HUD, the game, and the background. So what we're going to do, so actually that's only 3 layers. So I'm going to right click, add layer to top, right click, add layer to top in the bottom right. The reason why we only have 3 instead of 4 is because we don't need an obstacle layer, because this is just going to be a start screen. Okay. So this layer 2 on top, that's going to be our HUD. Oops, all caps, keep it consistent. Okay, layer 1 is going to be the game layer. And layer 0 is going to be the background layer. I just like to do BG for short. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put some objects on here. Now, we're going to put like the land left, for example. So I can go down here and I can grab the same land left that my game uses. Okay. Now the thing is, and I'm going to press maybe Control minus here to zoom out a little bit so I can see it. This is the same object that's on my game, and it's got bullet behavior and all that stuff, right? So to make it not work here, basically it's going to be assigned. Because this is assigned a different event sheet, none of the code will operate. So right now we are on the start layout, which uses ES start, which has no code. So since this layout isn't reaching that code, none of the land code is going to work, okay? However, for this particular land object, we do need to set the bullet speed, because I believe if I run this, it's going to just fly right off the screen. Yeah, see, it flies right off the screen. So for this object, you want to make sure you put the bullet speed at 0 so it doesn't move. So I'm going to change that. Okay. And that will only affect this particular instance of it. It won't affect the other land objects in my game. Okay. All right. So we're going to set the position of this land left, and we're going to put it at 0, 1280. So I'm going to do 0, 1280. Get that position perfectly where I want. And also you want to make sure you're on the background layer when you add this. So if you didn't add it to the right layer, just find the layer here and change it right there. Okay. All right. So that looks good there. And then I'm going to get a land right. I'm gonna go over here and grab a land right. We're gonna put the bullet speed to 0. And we're gonna put the position to 720 by 1280. So we're gonna go 720, 1280. There we go. Perfect. So we've got all that on. And then I'm going to just lock the background so that I don't move those by mistake. Then we are going to go to the game layer. On here, we're going to put a salmon on the screen. So let's go ahead and put a salmon. And we're going to switch the salmon's position. So if I click on the salmon here, here's position. We're going to go 360 by 900. Okay. The salmon, I shouldn't have to change any of his settings. Yep, because he's just going to sit there and float in space. So that's what we want. So that's good there. And then we're going to put the river object on. And we're going to do that at 360, 640 for position. So position 360, comma 640. There we go. And that looks good. If you put the salmon on first, the river will automatically go on top, which is what we want. If the salmon is on top of the river, just right click the salmon and go to Z order and send the salmon to the bottom of the layer. And then it should look like this. Okay. All right. Now we're going to go to the HUD layer. Now what we're going to do is we are going to add some new sprites. So we're going to make a title sprite. So I'm going to double click. I'm going to make a sprite. I'm going to call it title. Okay, click on the screen, load an image. Once again, navigate to your folder. It should just go there automatically. So I need to go desktop, desktop. Sorry, I've got mine buried just a little bit. Game design, Philly Salmon. Here we go. All right, so there should be a title right here. Okay, so there's my title. I don't really have to do anything to that. And then the title, we are going to adjust the position and the size of it. So what we're going to do is the position, we're going to go 360 by 85. 360, comma 85. Yep, that looks good. Size is going to be 380 by 150. So we're going to do size right here, 380, comma 150. Make it just a little bit bigger. Okay, so there's our title. Then we're going to make a play button sprite. So I'm going to double click and add another sprite. I'm just going to call it play button. I'll do play BTN. Whoops. Right here, BTN. There we go. Play button. Insert, click on screen, load in the play button image, which should be in here. This one right here. Okay. Close that window. The play button, we're going to put that at position 360, 730. Let's go 360, comma 730. And we're going to resize that, make it a little bit bigger, 250 by 100. There we go. Okay, then we're going to do a store button. So I'm going to make another sprite. I'm going to call it store, STORE, and then BTN for button. Insert, click on screen, load in the store button image, which is right here. Okay, and then we're going to put that at 360, 575 for the position. So 360, comma 575. And then the size is 250 by 100. Okay, perfect. So it should look like that, nice and lined up. Now, if you just take these and drag these and move them where you want to, I am not going to grade that these are in these exact positions. Okay, so if you just want to place them somewhere that you like, that's fine as long as they're on there. Okay, now it's probably a good time to save, so don't forget to save periodically. Okay, now we're going to go and decorate the store layout a little bit. So that was our start screen. Let's go ahead and go to the store. I'm going to control minus and zoom out a little bit. Something I will just say at a side note If you just went and you put all this stuff, let's say you put all this on here, right? And then you realized you were accidentally on the store layout and you put it on the wrong one, rather than like try to redo all of this, you would just rename the layout to be the one that you wanted. So if you put this on the store layout by mistake, just take that layout and rename it start, and then take the start layout and rename it store, and then you're good to go. Okay. I just thought of that, like I did it correctly, but I just thought of that as like a common thing that people may have done by mistake. So, and I could see people getting confused and like redoing all that work on the other layout when all you'd have to do is just rename it and you're good. And then you'd want to make sure that the event sheet was labeled to the right one too. Okay, so we're on ES Store. So we are going to make a new text object. So I'm going to double click and make a text. Going to be the bottom one here with the T. We're going to call it TXT for text, and then we're going to type in instruct because it's going to be instructions basically. In struct. Okay, we'll just call it instruct, or we can call it instructions if we want to. So text instructions, something like that. Okay, click on the screen. Okay, and we're going to set the position to 0, 50. Okay, and we're going to change the size to 720 by 55. Okay, and the size here, just so you don't get confused, when you're dealing with text, the size that is up here by position, that's just the size of how big the text box is. That's not the font size. The font size will be controlled down here near the bottom, okay? But we'll just do that for now, okay? Now to edit the text, if I scroll down to the properties here, I could type in this box here and edit the text. But sometimes you might be doing like larger amounts of text or something like that. What you can do that's a little bit easier, if you actually hover on the text box out here and you just double click it, you'll get a big box like this and you can just see what you're typing in and you can edit it that way. Okay. So our text is just going to say, click a power up to purchase. Whoops. Let's enter to purchase. Okay. That's what that's going to say. Um, and then let's go ahead and change the font size to 24 over here in the properties window. And we're going to change the horizontal alignment to center so it'll fit perfectly in the middle of that box. Now it says clicky power up to purchase. And then if you want to, you could change the actual font. Like it's totally up to you. You could change the font color, whatever you want here. So let's say I didn't like Arial and I wanted to pick something else. I could try, I don't know if any of these, I'll try this one. There, so I have a different font to it. So it's up to you. What I recommend is if you do change the font, you use the same font on everything else. So for the sake of the video, to make it faster, I'm just going to go back to Arial because all the other text, I don't want to have to go and change them all. So I'll just leave it like that for now. But you do have the option to change that and the color if you want to. I won't take off points. I want you to be able to customize a little bit if you want to, okay? All right, so we are going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more text objects. So we're going to go ahead and just get them made. We're going to get them sized and we're going to get them positioned here. So we're going to double click. So we got a lot of these. So text. Okay. This one is going to be called text land description. So text land. I'll just do like that because it's text land and then des stands for description. Okay, click on the screen. Text land description. That's going to go at position 300, 160. So 300, comma 160. Okay, the size is going to be 400, 200. Okay, and the font size is going to be 20. So I scroll down here, font size 20. Okay, so it's going to be like that. And I think that's good. And what I might do, rather than like remake a bunch of separate text sprites, I might just go over here in my properties window and you can see I have text land description. I might just clone this. So I'm going to right click it and I'm going to clone it. And I'm going to right click it and clone it again. And I'm going to right click and clone it again. And I'm going to right click and clone it again. All right, so see all these text land descriptions? So the first one I'm going to leave, but then the 2, 3, 4, and 5, I'm going to edit all those. So I'm going to go text land description 2 and drag it on the screen. And then up here, I'm going to change the name, and this is going to be called text smash description. So what I'll do is I'll just take out the word land and replace it with smash. Okay, like that. And then that one, let me see here. The position is going to be 300 by 480. So we're going to go 300 comma 480. Okay. And the size is going to be 400 by 200. Okay. And then the font size is going to be 20, which it already is. And so the rest of that's good. All right. So next we're going to take the text land description 3. I'm going to drag it on. I'm going to rename that one. And this is going to be called text land amount. So I'm going to erase the last part. I'm just going to do AMT for amount. Okay. And then this one, the position is 55 by 3. And the size is 230 by 40. Now, all of these size and positions, these can all be adjusted later on, but I would suggest maybe just setting it up like this to begin, see how the layout looks, and then in the end, if you want to resize and move stuff around, feel free to do that, okay? Now, this one, the font size is going to be 18. It's going to be a little bit smaller, so I'm going to go ahead and do 18. Center. All right. So this one here is the text land amount, okay? Then the next one, we'll take text land description 4, drag it on. Now, once again, if you didn't want to copy like I did, just make new sprites for each of these then, and make sure you just name them properly. Okay, next we have text smash amount. So I'm going to go up here and edit this. Okay. And then I'm going to do for text smash amount, we're going to do 55 by 680. Okay, and size is going to be 230 by 40. Okay. And the font is going to be 18, font size right here, 18. Okay, next one is text coins amount. This is the last one. And I'll kind of review all these in the end, just to make sure you have it all right. Text coins amount. Okay, this is going to be at position 370, 1015. Whoop, I didn't even have that on there. Okay, 370, comma, 1015. It helps if I actually have it selected before I type. Okay, so it's going to be way down here at the bottom. And then size is 75 by 40. 75, comma, 40. Okay, and then font size 18. All right, perfect. So we have all of these like text objects here. Now, what can get confusing is since they all say text, it's hard at a glance to tell which is which. So if you click on this one, you'll see it says text land description. If you wanted to edit this to say that, you could if that makes it easier for you. So I could just do something like this, double click it and do that. That way I remember what it is. If that helps, you don't have to. All of this text is going to be changed through the code, so it's up to you. So I might just do it quick here. That way you know you have them in the right spot. This one is text smash. Okay. And then this one here is, so that's text smash description. This is text smash amount. Okay. And then this one here is text coins amount. Okay. Now that one you can't see it all because of the size, but don't worry about it. But at least now we can like see that they're all different things and it's a little bit better, a little bit more reasonable. Okay. All right. Now what we're going to do is we need to put a play button on the layout. Now we've already made the play button, so we're going to drag the one that we already have. So here's the play button. We're just going to drag that onto the layout, and we're going to put that position at 360 by 1140. 360, comma, 1140. There we go. Size 250 by 100, which it already is, so we're good to go. We're going to put a coin object on the layout, which is right here. Okay, and we're going to put that at 340, 1030. So let's go 340, comma, 1030. There we go. And conveniently enough, it lines up right next to the text coin amount. Now we're going to add a new sprite. So what it is we are going to have a button to click on to buy power-ups for the smash and for the land. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a sprite. So double click and make a sprite. We're going to call this power-up land. Okay. Insert, click on the screen. You're going to load in an image and it should be the shovel image for the land. So we're going to put that in. Okay, so that's the power up land right there. Um, whoops, I'm going to double click it. Go back into the image editor by double clicking it. You can see we do need to crop it a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the crop button. That's better. And then after we crop it, we should be good. Now we're going to set the position to 150 by 250. 150 comma 250. There we go. And the size 95 by 225. So 95 comma 225. There we go. And now that fits up there nicely. Now we're going to make the power up smash. So I'm going to make a sprite. We'll call it power up smash. Okay, insert, click on screen. This one, we're going to load the image. And it's going to be this helmet called smash. We'll go ahead and click crop. And then you can close that window. Then we're going to go 150 by 550 for the position. 150, 550. And the size 245 by 160. There we go. That's looking mighty nice right there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click save because we just did quite a bit there. Now we're going to go back to the game layout. So double click and go back to the game layout. So we need to put some buttons and stuff on here, right? So we are going to highlight the HUD layer first. We are going to, if you still have that test text up here, the one that just said if you're jumping or diving, go ahead and delete that. In my last video, I think I said to delete it. So if you haven't done that yet, you can delete it here because now our fish actually jumps and dives. So we don't need that anymore. Okay. And then we are going to add text coins amount onto the screen. So we already made that one. So we want text coins amount. So let's go ahead and drag that onto our layout. Okay. And we're going to put that at 125.20 for the position. So 125, comma 20. Okay, so it's going to go right up there. We are going to add in the text coins amount, we got to change the size too. So go back to text coins amount. Size is going to be 125 by 60. Okay, that's better. And then the font size is going to be 24. So go font size 24, so it'll be a little bit bigger. Okay, so that's where that's going to be. Don't worry that you can't read all that in the box because later on it's just going to say a coin number. You don't need that much room up there. Okay. All right, so then we're going to put a text smash amount on the screen. So right here. And then go ahead and put the position at 600, 120. Okay. Size 60 by 60. Okay. Font size 28. You'll notice where it's sitting, it's on top of the land and it's kind of hard to read. So we're going to change the color to white because white's going to be easier to read in that spot. There we go. So you can see the white's much easier to read there. So we're going to go ahead and leave that there. Then we're going to put a text land amount on the screen. So go ahead and drag one of those over. That's going to be at 600, 225. Okay. And then that one. Oh, whoops, I got the wrong one. Hold on. I did text land description. We want text land amount. So that's why it's important you label these so you grab the right one. All right, hold on. Why is it not coming on the screen? There it goes. Oh, I see what I did. I see what I did. So this is text land amount, but I just typed the wrong thing in here. Okay, so I did have it right. Here, this just needs to, my notes. There we go. There, I just had the wrong thing actually typed in there. So I did have it right. 600 by 225 for the position on text land amount. So let's go up here. 600, comma, 225. Good. Size, 60 by 60. And of course, we're going to do font size 28 and color of white. Color to white. There we go. So those should look basically the same. Then we want the power up smash object. So this guy right here. Put the helmet on. Put it at 680, 125. Yeah, this round, guys, it's not as much coding. It's a lot of just doing the visuals here. So there isn't as much coding in this section. Size is 80 by 60, 80, comma 60. So it's going to be a little smaller symbol there. Okay, and then we're going to do the power up land. And once again, after you put all this on and get it running, if you don't like the positions of any of these or sizes, you can always adjust that. Okay. So 680 by 225 is the position here. 680, comma 225. Okay, and then the size is 50 by 125. There you go. So those two are right next to each other there. Make sure, once again, all of this should be happening on the HUD layer. You can always click on each object and make sure, but I know I started on the HUD, so their layers here in the property should always say HUD. Okay. All right. We are going to make a new text object for our score. So double click to make a new object, call it text. We are going to call it txt score. Okay, click on the screen to put it down. We're going to put it at 470/20. Okay. Size 125 by 60. Okay. And then font 24. And we're going to align it to the right. So when we go to horizontal alignment, we're going to choose right. So our score is going to fit right there on the blue. Okay. We're going to make a new sprite. So double click and make a new sprite. Once again, still on the HUD layer. Okay, we're going to make a play again button. So play again, BTN. Click insert, click on screen, load an image. There should be a play again image in here, right here. I shouldn't need to crop that or anything. 360 by 565 for the position. And size 490 by 100. There we go. All right, now we're finally going to get to some events. I definitely would click save. We did quite a bit there. Okay, let's jump back to our event sheet. So we're going to go to ES game. And we're going to add a couple of global variables. So now that we've made, basically what we've set up is we set up a store where we're going to be able to click on and gain those power-ups by spending coins. But we need a variable to track how many power-ups we own. So on your ES game, you're just going to right click at the bottom, add a global variable. We're going to make one called smash. And that can equal 0. And we're going to make another global variable called land. And that can equal 0 to start. So we're going to have a smash and a land variable here. Then we're going to go to our ES start and add some events on here. Our ES start doesn't have anything yet. We just made it. Okay, so we're going to make an on start event. So just click to add an event. System, we're going to do on start. On start of layout, we're going to move the salmon to the bottom. So what will happen is if the game ends and the salmon was jumping and it goes back to the start screen, the salmon could end up above the river. So what we want to do is to make sure that the salmon's always on the bottom. So we're going to add an action for the salmon. We're going to do move to bottom. Move to bottom. There we go. And this is just like we put this on the onstart of our regular game layout as well for the same reason. Okay. Then what we're going to do is on start, we're going to add an action for the land left. And we're going to type in speed. And we want to set the bullet speed to 0. Okay. The reason why this is important is because even though on our start layout, let me go back to here, these land objects, I'm going to unlock the background quick. These land objects, bullet speed is set to 0, right? But if the game restarts and the land objects is still there from the previous layout, it could have a speed value to it. I'm also going to double check. I'm just going to quickly make sure. Yep, and the speed on these ones are the same. I'm just going to quickly run this and make sure that me change. Yeah, and you can see me changing the speed to 0 didn't mess anything up on the other layout. So that's good. All right, anyways, back to ES start. So we want to set the speed to 0 for land left and land right. So what I might do is I might just copy this down and replace object land left with land right. If it's easier, you can just retype that out, but you want to say land left, set bullet speed 0, land right, set bullet speed 0. Okay. All right. And then we need to make a couple of touch commands so that we can touch the buttons and go to the store or go to the main game. So I'm going to add an event for the store button. And we're going to do on touch. So I'm going to type in touch. No, maybe not. Oh, I did the wrong thing. Sorry, back. Wrong object. So go back. We actually want to start by picking touch, not the store button. My bad. So we want to do touch, and then we want to do on touched. And we want to do on touched object, and we want to do the store button. There we go. So on the store button touched, we want to do add an action for system, go to layout. Okay, and we want to go to the store layout when we touch the store button, right? So let's add another event so that we can play the game also. So add another event. We're going to start with touch. We're going to do on touched object. So on touched object. And when we touch the play button, we are going to do action, system, go to layout. The play button is going to go to game. Okay, so it should say on touch store button, go to store, on touch play button, go to game. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and save again really quick. So that's pretty much all our start layout's going to need right now. We'll add some stuff later when we put sounding. But for now, we're going to go to the ES store and do some of our store commands. Okay. So we're going to do an on start of layout here. So system on start. Okay, we're going to add an action for the coin. And what we have to do is we have to set the bullet speed of the coin. We have to set that speed to 0. Otherwise, the coin's going to try to fly away like our land objects would, right? Okay, and then we're actually going to set what our text objects are going to say. So we're going to add an action for text coin amount right here. And we're going to do set text. Okay, and what it's going to do is it's going to just have the letter X in here. And the X we use for like, it's kind of like how many we have something, or it'll be like times. Actually, I'm going to do a lowercase x. Okay, and then outside of that, I'm going to do the and symbol. So I'm going to do shift 7 and then type in coins without quotation marks. So it should be quotation marks with an X in it, and then coins. So basically, if I have 3 coins, it's going to say times 3, that I have times 3 coins. Or it's going to say X4 or X5. It's going to tell me how many coins I have. Okay. So it should look like that. Then we want to add an action for text land description. Now these ones are going to get a little long, so just bear with me here. Okay, set text. Okay, then inside the quotation mark, it's going to say this. Land, whoops. And this here is just like typing out a sentence. Land salmon, I might put like a hyphen and then a space. And I'm going to say, allows your salmon to go through a land object once. Okay. I'm basically just describing what the land object or what the land power up is going to do. So the land power up is going to allow you to go through a land object one time. And then the other one that we're going to make, the smash, is going to allow you to smash through logs. Okay. All right. Oh, sorry, we're not done with this yet. Go back in here. Okay. So we're going to have this. And then out after this quotation mark at the end, we're going to type the and symbol. And then we're going to do a new line. So you just type the word new line, no quotation marks. And you do the and symbol again. Whoops, I touched the screen. Hold up. Shift 7. And another new line. That's because we want to enter down twice. Then the and symbol again. And then we're going to type a quotation mark. And then we're going to say cost dash 30 coins. So we're going to tell the player how much it costs. A quotation mark. Perfect. All right, so it's going to look like that. So it's land salmon allows your salmon to go through a land object once. That's all in quotation marks. Then outside the quotation marks, you do and new line, and cost 30 coins. The new line, I've explained it probably in a previous video, but all new line does is it's like pressing enter on the keyboard if you're typing and it enters down to the next line that you would be typing. So we're doing two new lines because we want to enter down twice and just have more space in between the text. Okay, so I'm going to click done. And that's how that one looks. All right, so we've got that. What we'll do is let's actually copy this down. So I'm just going to hold control and copy that down again. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing for the text smash description. So I'm going to link the text smash description. Now I might pull this out too a little bit so I can tell that they're the description ones and not the amount ones. Okay, and then I can go back here and just edit it because I pretty much want the same layout. So this one is going to say, whoops. So this first part here is going to say salmon smash. And I'm going to put a dash. Okay. And then allows your salmon to smash through a log once. Now I can leave the new lines, and then the cost of this one is going to be 25 coins. And I'm going to click done. So it should look like that. So text land should say that thing. Text smash should say that thing. Okay. Okay, got that. Then we're going to do text land amount. So I'm going to add another action for text land amount. And we're going to set text. Okay. And then this one, it's going to say in the quotation marks, we're going to put current amount, colon space. Outside the quotation mark, we're going to do and then land like that. And so this land does not have quotation marks, and that's going to be the global variable land. So basically, it's just going to say the word current amount colon, and then however many lands we own. And so we're going to do the exact same thing for smash amount. So add an action, text smash amount, which is right here, set text. Okay, and then we're going to say current amount, colon space, and then shift 7 outside for the and symbol, and then smash for the smash variable. So it should say that current amount and smash. Okay, just like that. You notice here I put a space after the and this one I didn't. It doesn't really matter either way. So it doesn't matter. If it bothers you, you can make them look the same, but the computer doesn't really care in that instance for that area. Okay. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that when we touch the power up, that'll actually give us the power up in our inventory. So we're going to add a new event here for the touch. Okay, and we're going to say on object touched. So I'm just going to type in touch. We'll do on touched object. And when we touch the power up land, let's see, power up land, okay, then we are going to take away 30 coins because we set up here it's going to cost 30, right? So we add an action system, subtract from coins 30, okay? And then we have to add one to our land variable. So I'm going to add another action for system, add to land 1, okay? Now here's the thing. If this is going to cost 30 coins, the way this is programmed right now, and actually, well, I don't have it set up to show me everything. Actually, I do. Hold on. I think I do. Let me just try running it quick and see if I can demo this. So let me just go to the store layout quick. All right, so you see my descriptions went in here. I have all that. So right now, you can see here's my coins right down here. It's telling me how many I have. Watch what happens when I try to buy the land. Oh, never mind. Oh yeah, I haven't programmed it to update yet, so it's not going to work yet. But what's happening, I'll just explain it. It is happening, you just can't see it because I haven't told that to update. Back to ES Store. The way this is programmed right now, there's no other condition than I have to touch this. So even if I have 0 coins, this event is still going to work, and it's going to put me at negative amounts of coins. We do not want the player to be able to go negative, so we need to make sure that the player has enough coins to be able to buy it. So on Power Up Land Touch, we're going to right click on the green arrow and add another condition. Okay. And that condition is that they have to have enough coins. So we're going to do system, compare variable, and coins has to be greater than or equal to 30. So if they're going to buy something that costs 30, they have to have 30 or more coins. That's basically what that means. Okay. So let's go ahead and copy this. So I'm going to right click the green arrow, copy, right click it again and paste. And basically, we're going to edit this event for when we touch the smash, power up smash. And the power up smash in the description we said cost 25. So we're going to change this to 25 in here. Okay. And then here we have to subtract 25 from coins. Okay. And we have to add 1 to smash instead of land. Now I'm going to give you guys a little hint here. There may be an additional exercise that asks you to change how much the power ups cost. Okay, just keep in mind, if I were to change the cost of power up land, let's say I want it to cost 40. There are 3 things I have to change. I have to make sure the text reads 40 here. I have to make sure it subtracts 40, and I have to make sure 40 is a requirement here. I can't tell you how many times I've graded this, and I only see kids change this. But then it still says it costs 30, but then it's subtracting the wrong amount. And then this will still say 30, but then they don't actually need that amount to buy this. So just make sure if you change the cost of these, there's 3 areas you have to do it. Okay? All right. So then what we're going to do is on the power up smash, let's add 2 more actions now. So we actually have to tell the coin text to actually update so it tells us how many we have after we make a purchase. So I'm going to add an action for text coins amount right here. And we're going to do set text. Okay. And we're just going to make it say the X and then the and symbol shift 7 and then coins just like that. So it's basically the exact same thing we had up here. So we could have just copied that down. Okay. Um, and then we need to take the text smash amount. So right here, let's just copy this. So I'm going to take the text smash amount and put that here. So that way it updates the smash amount. Okay. So on the power up land, we need to do the same thing. So let's grab the set coin text up here. Let's copy that down. And let's copy the text land amount down like this. Okay. Oh, and see, I made a mistake, I think. Oh, no, I didn't. Nope, nope, I'm good. Okay. So just make sure that this says power up land, that the coins amount is here, and that this is text land amount, and it's updating the land. And then for smash, you should have the same coin event, but then make sure smash amount is here. So if I just save really quick, and then I run the store again, now it should actually update properly. Well, now I can't show you though because I put the coin requirement on, right? So that should be working now though, and I don't want to take the time to adjust it and put the coins on. So Just trust that that should work at that point. All right, so let's go back in. We are almost done, guys, okay? All right, so then the last thing we have to do is we have to put a, see, on our store, we should have a play again button on there, or we have a play button. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to go to ES Store, and we have to make it so that the play button works. So let's add an event for touch. We're going to do on object touched. And so on touched object, we are going to do the play button. Okay, so when we touch the play button, we're going to go back to the game. So system, go to layout, and we're going to go back to game. All right, so that should be good for our ES store. So now we're going to go back to our ES game. Okay, back to our main game. Once again, if any of these are opened up, I would minimize all these so you're not overwhelmed by the code. We're going to go up to our on start of layout and just make a couple of adjustments. Okay? So what's going to happen is on the game, you can see our play again button is just sitting here, right? So what's going to happen is when we want a game over, we want this play again button to pop up so the player gets a chance to restart. Um, but we don't want to like destroy it and respawn it. So a good trick you can do is you can just toggle it visible or invisible. And then we'll just make it so that when it's not visible, the player can't interact with it at all. So that's what we're going to code in here. So we're going to go to ES game to our on start, add an action for the play again button, and we're going to set it invisible. So I'm going to type in visible. I'm going to change it to invisible from visible. Okay. Then we want to make sure that the score and the game time are both reset back to 0. So right here we have game time and score. We want to make sure that those values don't carry over from the previous playthrough. Okay. So we're going to do, we're going to do system, set value of score to 0. And then we're going to do system action. So system set value, and we're going to set game time to 0. Okay. Then we're going to make sure that the coin updates because you might have gone to the store and bought other things. So when you restart, we want to make sure the coin value always updates. So I'm going to add an action for text coins amount, set text, and we're just going to make it, we're going to have no quotation marks, and we're just going to put the word coins like that. Okay. We're going to do text smash amount right here, set text. Okay. And we're going to set that to just be smash, no quotation marks on this one. So it's literally going to just write out the number of what the variable is. And same thing for text land. So add an action for text the land amount, set text to land, no quotation marks, just like that. So it should just look like that so that right away when we start a new game, all those values will update. So that way, if you go right from the store into the game layout and you just bought a smash or a land or use coins, it will update immediately. Okay. All right, we have 3 more changes or 3 more events we're going to look at. So we're going to go down to the every DT event. So on mine, it's event 44. It's going to be in the obstacle create group. It should be near the bottom. So mine is this one. You want to find this every DT 1500 seconds. Yours might not be 44 if you've gone and added things on your own or maybe put it in a slightly different order. Okay? So what we have to do is when we add one to score, we need to update the score text. So right after add one to score, we're going to add an action for score text. So text score right here. And we're going to do set text. And we're just going to set it to score. Okay. So then that is just going to be a number that updates. And we just did score without quotation marks. Okay. Then we're going to go to this event 45. Score percent 200 equals 0. So this is every 200 seconds, we're adding one to our coins. Okay. So we have to update the coins here as well. So we're going to add an action after it adds one to coins for text coin amount. We are going to set text And we're just going to type in coins without quotation marks and get the global variable coins, just like that. Okay. Then we are just going to quickly make it so that when you collect the coins, it adds to your coins. So we're going to go to the collisions group at the bottom. We're going to find salmon on collision with coins. We have to update the coin text. So I'm going to add an action here. Text coin amount, set text, to coins. It's really important you pick the one with the green globe. Don't pick the coin. You want the coins variable. Okay, like that. Okay, and then we're going to make a new event at the bottom. So just not even in a group. So just if you even want to minimize this, just make a new event. And we're going to do system, compare variable. And we're going to say if game over equals 1, so let's do game over, which that'll be a game over event, right? We are going to make the play again button visible so the player can see it, and then they could be able to click on it and do stuff, right? So add action, play again button. Where is it? Play again button set visible. So type in visible, and we want it to be visible. Okay, so when we enter a game over, that's going to become visible. We want to destroy any coins currently on the screen. So I'm going to add action for coins and destroy. Okay. And then what we're going to do is if we touch the play again button, we're going to go to start. So I'm going to add an event for touch. We want to do play again. Whoops, sorry. On object touched. I'm getting ahead of myself here. So on touched object. And we're going to choose the play again button. Okay, so when I touch the play again button, I want to do system and I want to go to start. So I'm going to add an action for system, go to layout. We're going to go to the start screen. Okay, now there's a huge problem with the way this is set up. Remember, that play again button is always on the screen. We're just toggling it visible or invisible, right? So the way this is coded right now, it doesn't matter if it's visible or not. So the bad part about this is anytime I click on it, it's going to take me to the start layout, even if it's invisible. So let me just try that really quick. So let me go to my game. Let me just try to run it once. Okay, so there's no play again button there, right? So when I die, the play again button's visible and I can click on it, right? But if I play again, you can see I just clicked on it right there, right? So I can click on it even though it's invisible and I can't see it because it still exists there. So the very last thing we're going to do is back on our ES game. We have to add a condition to this that says that the play again button has to be visible for us to click on it. So on this untouched event, right click the green arrow, add another condition for the play again button, and we have to say is visible. Okay, so play again button has to be visible for this to trigger. And after you've added that in, you should be good to go for section 6.